Hi, I'm Zach Charney-Cohen, Senior Systems Engineer and Workflow Specialist here at OpenDrives. Today, I'd like to talk to you about some of our latest products and developments. We're very excited to be able to announce our newly released Ultra hardware architecture. I'd also like to take you through some of our latest achievements in customer workflows, and I'd like to give you a sneak peek at the upcoming release of our Atlas software platform. To begin, let's get into hardware. So, up until this point, OpenDrives has traditionally made high-performance scale-up storage units that were 4U, combining both compute and storage in the head, and then expanding in 4U increments. Now, in an expansion of our offering, we have the new Ultra Series hardware architecture that disaggregates the compute and the storage, and delivers those resources in discrete 2U modules. So here, we have 3 new Ultra Series C modules. The C stands for compute. This is the motherboard, RAM, NIC, and NICs. The 3 different series, Ultimate, Optimum, and Momentum, are differentiated by performance profile and connection type. So the Ultimate series can only connect to NVMe flash modules, which we call F modules. The Optimum series is a hybrid, so it can connect to the F modules and also to hard drive or H modules. The Momentum connects to H modules. Here's what that looks like. So this is an example of the 3 series in a small configuration. You have a C module to start on each series, and then you pair that with either an F or an H module, respectively, depending on the series. But even in the minimum increment, there's still flexibility. So on the Ultimate, you could use a different smaller size F module, or on the Optimum, you could start with an F module instead of the H module for more performance. And all of this allows our end users to more accurately tailor the product to the needs of their workflow. As we continue to build out these different series, you can also see that redundant compute is available as an option on all 3 series. So the different architectures and performance profiles naturally service different workflows. The Momentum on the right, leveraging the H modules, is really designed for write-heavy workflows and delivers up to 5 gigabytes per second. It also is a great DR target for Optimum and Ultimate series. Finally, Momentum can also serve lower performing workflows for cost-sensitive customers who still want to be in the OpenDrives ecosystem. Optimum delivers 15 gigabytes per second at very low latency. Its hybrid nature allows users to accurately and incrementally target a broad variety of high-performance workflows by leveraging both the F and the H modules. And the Ultimate makes me smile every time, because it's for when the highest available performance is really the utmost priority. It does 25 gigabyte per second at extremely low latency in the all NVMe architecture. At the bottom of the diagram here, you can also see what you don't get from the front-facing view, which is that by disaggregating the compute and the storage, we actually took the opportunity to decrease the depth of the chassis to 20.1 and 13.4 inches respectively. About 2 years ago, we got into broadcast, and when we entered that space, the key feedback we got was that customers loved the product, but they asked us to build something smaller and more portable. Our software and hardware roadmaps are 100% customer request driven, and so we delivered the industry's highest performing, shortest rack depth enterprise storage device that happens to fit really well in broadcast trucks and flypacks. So we created these new building blocks to enable our users to customize their infrastructure more incrementally, to enable new use cases with the compact form factor and increased ease of implementation, and finally to help our customers tackle the largest problems head-on with increased scalability. And that is the new Ultra hardware architecture available today. Now that you've seen the hardware, we'd like to demonstrate for you what workflow feels like with the Ultra series. I was a DIT and a colorist before joining OpenDrives, and the tangible experience of working on actual high-performance storage is something that's difficult to convey over a virtual demo, but it's of critical importance to the creative, our end user. These workflows also represent milestone achievements that we reached with real customers in the past months leading up to the product launch. The first workflow I'd like to cover is Adobe Premiere's new production panel. But before we dive into that, it's important to know that both workflows I'll be showing you today, I will be demonstrating fully remotely. Remote workflow became very important earlier in this year, and to keep our customers up and running, we were able to introduce the framework of OpenDrives Anywhere. For today, I'm currently working out of my home in Burbank off of a moderately powered workstation. I'm securely connected to our headquarters in Culver City via VPN over public WAN, and I'm connected to a high-powered HPC workstation in our demo area, which in turn is connected to our new Ultimate Series hardware. Remote workflow can only ever be as good as the on-prem experience, which is exactly why it demonstrates the value proposition of ultra-low latency. In remote workflows, the latency between the compute and the storage at your facility is felt exponentially when working remotely. This factor makes OpenDrives a requirement as a foundational component to net the real-time performance I'm about to demonstrate. OpenDrives is very fortunate to have a long-standing partnership with Adobe that began over 8 years ago. Ever since, many of the major motion pictures that have been cut in Premiere, starting with Gone Girl, Deadpool, Hail Caesar, Birdman, and others, have all been cut in partnership with OpenDrives and backed by OpenDrives products. On Only the Brave, we helped pioneer the shared projects workflow. Continuing this partnership, last year, we collaborated with Adobe on Terminator Dark Fate, where much of the new productions workflow was rounded out. Today, I'm showing an episode of Mindhunter, which was not originally created using productions, but it's a substantial real-world project with around 77,000 assets and layers of nested effects that we use internally to put the newest workflows to the test. You can see here on the left we are working in the new production panel, and my colorist is working with me in real time in the same project on scenes 14 and 16. I'm working, of course, in the main cut, and this is where the performance advantage provided by OpenDrives is revealed to the editors and creatives that sit down in front of the system. We can jump anywhere in this timeline, forward, back, by just a few frames, or by half the episode. And immediately when I hit the spacebar, I get that tactile performance response that is necessary to be able to edit as fast as you can think. No waiting on the tools. This is the level of performance that OpenDrives is known for delivering to end users, whether it's a feature film, TV show, creative work group, or a facility with hundreds of simultaneous editors. All of the existing Premiere enhancements that our customers are used to carry into the new version, including being the only shared storage that can support a shared Premiere cache location across all of the workstations in your facility. We're also excited to be working with our partner, Blackmagic Design, on some truly landmark achievements. Before we get to the next workflow, another capability that we think is important to demonstrate is the real-time playback of formats and materials that place exacting demands on the storage. Again, please note that this demonstration is both live and remote. Resolve has always been one of our best in-house benchmarking tools due to its exceptional playback engine and accommodation of traditionally difficult uncompressed formats, namely DPX and EXR. Here, we have a timeline of 16-bit UHD EXRs playing back in real time. An important distinction here is that this is happening without any background caching or optimized media. The files are playing back at 23976 and at around 50 megabytes per frame, require a total data rate of 1.2 gigabytes per second just for this stream alone. However, given that each frame of this format is its own file, a key factor here again is extremely low latency. Using standard protocols, we are maintaining not only the bandwidth, but doing so well within the interframe latency required for smooth playback of this format at this speed, which is 41.7 milliseconds between frames. While DaVinci is historically revered as a premium finishing tool, Blackmagic has been continuing to develop Resolve into a fully featured end-to-end suite, and we are extremely pleased to announce that over the past few months, we partnered with the Resolve workflow team to support a new workflow that the industry has been working towards for 30 years. We cannot reveal the name of the project, however we can announce that it was the first studio feature film cut entirely in DaVinci Resolve. The project was also cut entirely online, directly from the camera original assets. The film was shot natively in 5K Red RAW, and the film was cut with the R3Ds straight out of camera. This workflow represents an incredible cost savings opportunity, entirely bypassing the complexity of the offline workflow and significantly streamlining the set-to-post ingest and traditional dailies processes. We set up this timeline of R3D footage as a test project to replicate the demands of that workflow. We also added substantial sound design to account for the additional complexity sometimes added by audio. OpenDrives enabled this workflow by providing the performance necessary to accommodate the concurrency and total bandwidth required to support an entire facility playing back camera raw files, including multicam sequences, simultaneously. Also, the shared project database that enables collaboration is actually hosted on the OpenDrive storage system, which is an early demonstration of how the compute resources can be strategically leveraged for additional tasks with our new hardware architecture and software platform. We demonstrate these challenging and innovative workflows to illustrate the human interactive quality of the OpenDrives experience. The better the storage on the back end, the lower the latency, the more seamless it is on the front, and OpenDrives customers love us for this specific reason. We do the heavy lifting so they don't even know that we're there. Now that you've seen the high-performance workflows, we want to end with a sneak peek of a new Atlas software platform release that we have coming out later this year. Just to establish a baseline for those who haven't seen it, this is the UI for the version of Atlas our customers are using today. This is where we're headed. We're still in a bit of development on this, so we won't be able to cover the entirety, but the new features we have coming out really enable our users to fully leverage the new hardware platform in a manner that allows us to scale up and scale out while managing these large complex infrastructures. The end user will be able to manage 1, 10, 20, 100 different systems in their environment from a single pane of glass interface and in an easy and intuitive way, as all of our user interfaces have been in the past. In addition to this single pane of glass management, we are also announcing a feature we call pods. Following the OpenDrives design mandate of making hard things easy to do, pods allows you to leverage containerization of applications and processing through the same easy-to-use interface. We do this by deploying something additional called recipes. Pods is the container management system. Recipes automate deploying the application to the container. Recipes are pre-built and extremely easy to launch. So right now I'm going to launch od stats recipe, which is actually an instance of Grafana. So here I have the actual recipe itself. I will test it, save it, and now the recipe is deployed but not active, as you can see here. So many people are familiar with Grafana as a graphing application, and we like to show it for a few reasons. One, it demonstrates just how easy it is to deploy. There you go. This is a fresh instance, so no password has been set. But this particular Grafana recipe has been built out specifically to display analytic information from the same ultimate system that is hosting it. All of the user interface features that you see within Atlas are REST API driven. Because it is REST API driven, tools like Grafana can leverage all of the API calls as you can see here. So not only are we simplifying and supporting containerization, we are also demonstrating here the robustness of our API. We just showed you how easy it is to deploy an active pod, and this is what the analytics can look like fully populated in the supplied recipe. We capture thousands of analytics on the system, the most broadly actionable of which end up directly in the UI as opposed to this recipe. We actually present all of our captured metrics far exceeding those seen here through the API to be readily accessed by commonly used data visualization tools. We focus here on presenting an expanded set of underlying system resource information, not only showing active bandwidth, but also stats on latency, concurrency, and cache. This pod recipe is not meant to replace our UI, but to supplement it. For users that require a customizable platform with flexible depth, this recipe serves as a ready-made foundation to build on. So at this point, we've discussed the Ultra Series hardware platform, 2U modules that disaggregate compute and storage, a single pane of glass interface, and the introduction of containerization through pods and recipes that the customer can use to bring applications and automation directly onto the infrastructure. Our customers love our scale-up products, but have been asking us for the performance and features offered in our scale-up stacks in a scale-out architecture. There's one diagram that I haven't shown you yet. Combining our upcoming releases of Atlas with the new foundation laid with the Ultra Series hardware, users will be able to aggregate the performance and capacity of their total OpenDrives infrastructure as single namespace and distributed file systems are making their way to the Atlas platform in the near future. Stay tuned to this space for more updates as we have them, and thank you for your time today. Stay safe.